Good evening, December 5th, 2024. Finally getting back on this, sharing a testimony. I am in Miami, Florida. I am at Trump National Doral. It's a big resort and golf course. Here, I'll flip the camera. Just a little briefing here. It's an 800-acre property, so yeah. Anyway, I want to get back to what I was sharing. I shared some about my home life. I want to go to my Junge, the Rumspringa. Obviously, when you turn 16, you get in the Rumspringa. And I learned very quickly that when you get into the Rumspringa, there's the peer pressure of alcohol, there's the peer pressure of listening to party music, and I like music, by the way. Music is a good thing. Just don't pump bad music into you, because if you do that, if you pump bad music into you, yeah, you become a product, pretty quickly of what you listen to. Hip hop, some of that music, that's not good for the mind and the soul. The words, the lyrics. So yeah, I got pretty obsessed with music. I got obsessed with iPods. I got obsessed with all that. And in fact, I even bought and sold a few iPods to other Rumspringa. Not gonna mention names. But it was an obsession. And the alcohol part, I learned pretty quickly, if you don't want to be in the boring group, you're gonna drink, and I'm not gonna lie. In the state of mind that I was in, I had a lot of fun. I did, but it wasn't right. True joy comes from the Lord, nowhere else. Yeah, so I did that. I didn't drink a lot until I was probably 19 is when I started drinking more, 19, 20. And I overdrank. I drunk too much a few times. It's pretty embarrassing, at least the one time was. And I got pretty obsessed with it. There's nothing wrong with having a drink if you have self-control. But once you don't have self-control, guess what happens? Then you overdo it. You have no self-control. If you have no self-control, then you don't have self-awareness either. If you don't have self-awareness, you don't realize sometimes what you look like when you're high on a kite. Is a nice way to put it. And that I didn't know. I don't think I had as serious of a drinking problem as some other people already have. But I did have a drinking problem. I got to where, so I married when I was 24, and I got into the American liquors after 21. And I was Jim Beam, Jack, some of those, and I actually quit drinking the mixed drinks probably when I was 23, and then I just drank a lot of beer. I married when I was 24. I had times that I quit drinking for a couple months, and then I'd get back in it. That's basically, if you're experiencing that, let me tell you what it is. For lack of a better term, it's a lack of Jesus. It's a lack of being born again, trying to fill that void. And alcohol will never fill that void the way Jesus does. Never ever. I don't care if someone wants to complain about me, about saying stuff about alcohol, I said, I have no issue with alcohol if it's under control. And I don't mean having a drink every day, because if you have a drink every day, you are an alcoholic. And that's not a good thing to be. Yeah, some might say that's a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of biblical scripture. It says an alcoholic will not go to heaven. Okay, I'll leave it at that. So I'm not condemning people who have a drink every now and then, not at all. Self-control, self-aware, you can enjoy it, that's fine. The better circumstance sometimes is when you're at home. And I'll drink a little wine every now and then, I will say that. I'm not gonna lie. But the liquor, the beer, I quit the liquor, like I said, I believe it was in 23, is it? Probably 2016 or 18, and that, man, I'd have to guess again. That might have been, it's probably 2018. That would have been 25 rather. Yeah, it was after I was married, so it was after 2018. It's probably more like 2019 when I quit drinking the mixed drinks. And then I drank beer, and I drank a lot of beer. I quit drinking pop after I quit drinking the mixed drinks, and I quit both of those the same year, but then I drank a lot of beer. Okay, let's see. We got married in 2018. So that was in May of 2018 we got married. My wife's name is Amanda, and she's a real sweet lady. And when I got married, I wasn't born again. So when you're not born again, you get married, it's a lot harder to define if you truly loved someone or if you truly lusted someone. So I'm not going to talk a lot about that. We got married in 2018 in May. I think my wife was pregnant that same year in maybe October. That's when I had one of my bad instances, is in November. There was a birthday surprise for someone that we hung around a lot. And we were going to go to the surprise, and she didn't want to because she was fighting the early pregnancy stages, and I was fighting alcoholism or drunkardness, whatever you want to call it. So I was drinking. There was young folks there that night, and she didn't want to go, so I went by myself with the young folks. I was pretty high. I wasn't there that terribly long, but while I was there, something happened. So it was called a surprise. It was for our 21st birthday, and I went there. I was drinking a lot. Some people asked where my wife was, and I was pissed off. I was like, she's at home. And I don't know what all I said, to be honest. I don't know if I want to know. I don't know what it was happened, but I know that a buggy drove over me that night. When I got home, I was in a mad rage. I literally did some damage inside my house. I tore off railing, which still isn't right today, and I don't know what all I did because I don't remember. But I was really, really mad. I had the madness of the devils in me, the demons. It was hypothetically unreal. So the church found out about it. They wanted to give me counseling. I said I don't need counseling. I think it was a couple months later is when I quit drinking the mixed drinks, because I drank too many of the, Jim Beam is pretty good if it's mixed, right? And I drank too many. So, yeah. That happened. Time went on. We had our first daughter in July of 2019. It's Marlene Amy. She's a 5-year-old today. She's big for her size. I love her. My wife loves her. It was 2019. Then in trying to think, Lynette was born in 2020. So 2019, my wife's sister got married, I believe, right after our daughter was born, just maybe a couple weeks at the latest. And that was in 2019, and we went to Tennessee that year with her family, which was always a good time. And the following year, 2020, we went to Tennessee again. So I'm fast forwarding here to 2019 and then 2020. I believe it was in 2019 we started ramping up on our shoe business, which I probably haven't talked much about, and I might not talk a lot about it, but I'll talk a little bit. I started that one in 2016 when I was still at home. There was a brand of shoes I wanted to sell, and we had our neighbor, a big shoe store, fairly big, and I asked him several times to get some shoes, and he finally told one of my brothers that he don't think he can get them, and I said, well, I bet I can, and I did, and I created Riverside Dry Goods, and yeah, trying to think, I started selling shoes, and I added a couple brands, and I expanded it pretty extensively. And so when we got married in 2018, we moved the shoes there. We just had them upstairs in a room. That's all the space it took. And when we kept expanding, then I think we went to the first shoe show in probably 2019, because other people were telling us to get other brands of shoes, and then I think that's when I quit drinking the mixed drinks, is because I got there hungover and I wasn't very happy about it, and I said that's it. We expanded. We ended up getting a small 12 by 24 building. We put it in. We outgrew that very quickly, which in 2020 in March, when COVID hit, we built a 40 by 64 building, 17-foot walls, 2-story. Most of it is 2-story today. And that was where the shoe store was started. One thing with the shoe store, when we started it, I had a lot of people I drank with, so we got a lot of evening customers, and it was a good sales pitch. Come over and get some shoes and have a drink with me or whatever. And that's kind of how it started. A lot of it after we moved. Trying to think. So 2018 we moved there. 2019 I said we have to get it out of our house, and we did. We got the building, got it out of our house. So when we moved there was electricity in the house. We kept the electricity for about 2 years. In 2020 we finally shut it off. Yeah, that's when we started building the building. Had a pretty good party there in the early stages. After it was up, it wasn't even insulated. And I wanted to have a party for so long, for so many years, and Dad would have never tolerated it, and I never should have, but I did. So that was in the early stages of 2020, and we started it in March. A couple months, we got it wrapped in and closed, and it was probably close to September before we moved into the new shoe store in 2020. Trying to think. Anyway, I'm probably going to stop it here, because the next part is the beginning of another section, and it's a pretty good one. Something that you'll definitely want to hear, and it's the beginning of really when things started changing, breaking away from alcoholism, breaking away from a lot, whatever goes hand in hand with evil. And yeah, so we're down here in Miami. I'll probably do another video here soon. I'll get this one posted. This is part 2, and I'll probably have a couple more videos. And yeah, I'm gonna flip the camera around for you a little bit. You can look at the beautiful Trump Doral. It's a beautiful place. If you ever need a good vacation place in Miami and you like golf, I highly recommend it. They have top service. They have everything's tops here. So God bless you, and you have a beautiful evening, and I will be with you shortly. Thank you.